All right, today let's do a breakdown of our first big hosted Nerf Wars event that we did last week with the school, what worked and what didn't. Hi, I'm Emily. I get paid to party. I own a handful of party service businesses that I run out of my house, and I just show you guys the behind the scenes of what we do that makes us thousands of dollars a week. So follow along if you're interested in something like that. Okay, so last week we had our first big paid hosted Nerf Wars party with a school district. For our party rental business, we have had like DIY Nerf Wars parties for a while where people could come and pick up the supplies and rent those from us and do their own Nerf Wars parties at home. But we have had a significant amount of people that have asked if we could possibly do like hosted ones where we come and set it up and we run the party the whole time. So when people are asking, I feel like that's a pretty good indication there's a market there for it. So we did that, and we had our first one last week at a school. It was for an hour and a half for about 40 to 50 kids at a time. So it was like a fifth grade promotion party for them going to junior high. So I'm not entirely sure how many fifth graders were there in general, but it was going to be for about, on average, about 40 kids at a time. So 2 teams of 20. We would typically charge $600 for this for an hour and a half. We gave the school a discount for $450 so that we could film content there for our website and social media for the new business. And so it was kind of a win-win. I'm one of those entrepreneurs that I just kind of dive in and will put myself out there and accept bookings and then just learn along the way as I go. And I know that this makes some people nervous, but honestly, like, there is no substitute for just doing it and how you're going to learn. And that's what I love about these. The first event is always really stressful, but I always learn like 80% of what you need to know just prepping and doing that first event. And then the other things are the things that you learn along the way after the repetition of them. But there really is no substitute to just doing it. And so that's always my advice to people. So here's some of the things that I learned from this event. First of all, I gave myself an hour and a half to set up. We had 8 very large inflatable barricades. You can go back a few videos from last week and see the event. 8 large inflatable barricades, and then we had 2 blinds on either end. I had tables set up that had like the jerseys, the protective eyewear, the blasters and darts themselves, and we had a large speaker. Gave myself an hour and a half to set up. I never give myself enough time in these first events, and I thought for sure that would be it. But also it started at 8:30 a.m. and I couldn't have access to the campus until 7 anyway. So I was hoping it would be enough. It was not, but I kind of learned some things. One of the major things is the inflatable barricades, the big ones, take a while to inflate, and they're very large. I can't like inflate a bunch of them and then carry them, or like they won't even fit in the back of my car inflated. So that was one of the issues. Was the outlet where I needed to plug in my inflator was about 2 football fields from where these barricades needed to be. So that was the biggest hassle, was inflating those and getting them back and forth. I was very lucky. I had a dad that was there volunteering that was like, do you need help? And I'm like, yes. If you could inflate these and I had gotten half of them done, and he did the other half while I was setting up the other stuff, thankfully, or I would not have been done in time. Now, I did have some people comment who do this sort of thing with barricades in other states and gave me tips. And one of the main ones was buy a portable battery inflator so that you're not going back and forth. You can just inflate it on the field. I didn't even think to look for that, and yeah, already got that ordered. That will make a huge difference. Another thing they suggested was don't inflate your barricades all the way. Inflate them 85% because it A, gives them a little bit of give and movement, and B, in Arizona, the sun heats it up and they continue to expand, and so you don't want them to pop. They're very expensive. So that was another great tip. Side note, people all the time are like, I can't believe you just give away this info for free. Like, you should be charging people for it. My husband's like, you're creating your own competition, sharing all this online for free. But one of the reasons I do that is because I love collaborating with other entrepreneurs, and when you share, they share. And so I share what I do and what works, and I have other people that comment and share tips with me who also do the same thing and know things. And that's the kind of entrepreneur I would rather be, is collaborative. In Phoenix, there are millions of people here. There is plenty of business to go around. And I would rather be someone that collaborates and works with other people in the industry, and we share tips and tricks and what works. It just gets you farther, I believe, personally. So I learned those things from a couple other people that had commented that are doing this themselves. Another thing that was a surprise that I learned, I had a bunch of like organized games planned, and I had set that up, and we did like the first 5-minute round. but the kids just wanted free play. They preferred to be able to just run around and blast each other with the blasters, and kind of create their own little games, which was fine with me because I spent the whole time running around restaking the giant inflatable barricades. That's another thing I learned. The rope and the stakes that came with the barricades were by not even close to strong enough. I should have known a lot of times what comes with those things from the factory is the bare minimum. And next time I need thicker ropes and stronger stakes to stake those down in. So that was nice that the kids just wanted to play because I was keeping those things, or just running around like crazy, keeping those things staked down. It was fun to have the speaker and music playing for the kids. I do need to work on my playlist because it's got to be kid friendly, and every so often I thought I had a kid friendly playlist and a song would pop up that I would be like running to grab my phone and skip to the next song. Overall, the kids seemed to really love it. The equipment was treated really well. I only lost one set of protective eyewear, which is insane. I was only down 15 Nerf darts. These teachers and volunteers at this school did an amazing job of reining the kids in and making them go out and pick up the darts. So that's another thing. The picking up of darts is a lot of work. And if you are doing like schools and stuff and they're willing to help, that's very helpful. I was very impressed with how well the kids took care of the Nerf blasters, took care of the darts, the eyewear, the jerseys, minimal loss or damage there. Overall, a really great event. It has energized me to do this more and get out and start marketing this. The kids enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I learned a ton. All right, ask me any questions you've got.